We start with breaking news tonight. Police are searching for a man after he allegedly shot his wife during an argument. It happened in front of their Glendale home near 71st and Glendale Avenues around 6 p.m. Police tell us their son tried to intervene, but the man pulled out a handgun and shot his wife in the leg before getting into a car and driving away. Now, police say he's still at large and officers are working to find him. Of course, we'll be sure to bring you the latest as this story develops. Thanks so much for watching 12 News at 10. I'm Chase Golightly. Tonight, we're tracking record high temperatures expected to hit the valley. Let's bring in meteorologist Chris Dunn now. And Chris, whether you like it or not, those triple-digit temperatures are really just right around the corner.
Yeah, and it typically doesn't happen at this time of the year. The average date of our first 100 is May 2nd. We are way ahead of schedule. We did hit 92 today, shy of the record 95. Normal, for example, is 78 degrees. We are headed to 100. That's amazing. 11% our relative humidity at this hour. The 10 o'clock hour, it's 81 degrees. Our dry heat is in place, and that's really not going to be a concern, any humidity. Near record heat today with a high of 92. Extreme heat watch kicks in on Thursday, and we could see our first 100 and even our first 105-degree day starting on Wednesday. That's why we have a weather impact alert kicking in on Wednesday all the way through next weekend. Your highs tomorrow, this is for Sunday. Tucson, 86. 91 in Phoenix, 66 in Flagstaff, but it's only going to go up from there. Extreme heat watch from the National Weather Service. This starts on Thursday. It goes all the way through the weekend through Sunday for extreme heat. Now, when we're talking about extreme heat in the summertime, usually that's 110 to 115 or above. But remember, this is mid to late March when the average highs are in the upper 70s. We're talking about triple digits, and we've only been there one time in Phoenix weather history. And we will be there several times coming up. Starting on Wednesday, we do have a weather impact alert, triple-digit heat on the way. Just limit your exposure in the afternoon because we're not acclimated to this kind of heat. This will be the earliest 100-degree on record, lasting several days in a row. It's going to have a big impact on us because we're not adjusted to it. So stay hydrated and avoid the hot afternoon hours. I'll have a look at the numbers, and it's not just us. It is all across the West. Some all-time records for March could fall. I'll have a look at that coming up. Chase?
Chris, thanks. Nearly 2 years after a historic Catholic church in Casa Grande was destroyed in a fire, the community is coming back stronger than ever to rebuild. 12 News journalist Tiani Jadaling spoke with officials at St. Anthony's. She shares where the church stands now.
For the last year and a half, Mass has been held inside the church's community center. The church once stood where I'm standing here, which now takes space today as a parking lot. Investigators believe the fire was an arson, with the suspect still at large. But today, the community tells me this is a step in the right direction. Parishioners fill Mass every Saturday and Sunday at St. Anthony of Padua Catholic Church. Father Ariel, a priest at St. Anthony's, tells me following the fire and demolition of the church, they've been blessed with generosity from the community and beyond.
Even before we actually launched our capital campaign, people had been giving us already some money. So we were able to collect about $1 million.
That money coming from donations both locally and throughout the state. But officials with the church say there's still a need of about $19 million to rebuild a more modern and much larger version of the church originally built in 1959.
We've received a $10.4 million settlement with our insurance company. Now, that wasn't a gift. We had to negotiate it, and the policy that we had said replacement and code upgrades.
After receiving that number, officials with the church then went out and priced that cost, which led them to the major capital campaign.
Asking God to help us with this effort and inviting more people to come and help us. And yes, you don't need to be a Catholic. You don't need to be a Catholic to help us. And many non-Catholics really help us. You don't need to be Casa Grande citizen in order to help us. So, and everybody, if they can help, we will appreciate it a lot.
Those with the church are aiming for a targeted groundbreaking date despite not having the funds for the rebuild. That's set for June 13th. But for parishioners who consider the church a staple within the community, they say it's a moment of light following a time of darkness.
We got married here, and all my kids did their sacraments here. So to hear such a devastating loss, it's sad. So it's just exciting to see all the community come together, to help raise a new one.
Tonight, the community gathered together after a 4 p.m. Mass, trying to rebuild and raise donations for the only Catholic church in the city. In Casa Grande, Tiani Jadaling, 12 News.
Tiani, thanks. An update now to last night's shooting near 35th Avenue in Osborne. Road involving Phoenix police officers. Police say just after 6:15 p.m., officers responded to a domestic violence call at an apartment complex. When the first officer arrived, they spotted the suspect, who began running through the complex. As the officer chased after him, another officer arrived as backup. The man was seen carrying a rifle and refused repeated commands to stop and drop that weapon. That's when officers opened fire. He was taken to the hospital, where he later died. No officers were hurt. DPS is now investigating. And police have arrested a suspect in a deadly North Phoenix shooting this week. On Thursday night, 27-year-old Emmett Yazzie Jr. was found with gunshot wounds at the Quick Trip near Cave Creek Road and Greenway Parkway. He later died at the hospital. Police are now telling us 24-year-old Mario Esparza has been taken into custody in connection with the murder. We're still working to determine what led up to this shooting. And a Phoenix police officer is in the hospital after getting into a struggle with a shoplifting suspect. Police say the officer, working off-duty in full uniform, contacted a man allegedly shoplifting near Baseline Road and 24th Street yesterday. When the suspect tried to run, the officer chased after him. During that struggle, the officer was pushed to the ground and suffered a serious leg injury. The suspect, 33-year-old Devontae Stockdale, is now facing charges of aggravated assaults. And if you're planning to beat the heat at Lake Pleasant this weekend, you're likely to come across some wild burros roaming the area, but that will soon change. The State Bureau of Land Management announced they will be removing more than 1,000 of them, and people who go to the lake often say it won't be the same.
Come cool off in the lake, get on some jet skis and boats.
While out enjoying Lake Pleasant, you can expect some of these guys to be wandering around.
There's donkeys everywhere.
For those who come out here often, they say these wild burros are part of the charm.
I feel like donkeys out here is like a core culture of Lake Pleasant.
We definitely see them a lot. I mean, they come up to our cars.
Now, usually you see them in small groups, but the Bureau of Land Management estimates there's about 2,300 of them.
I like seeing them. They roam around. They're cool. I love them.
That large number creating some issues, which is why BLM plans on removing more than 90% of them, going from more than 2,000 to just 140.
They don't bother us, so why should we bother them? You know, I don't think there's a need for it necessarily.
However, BLM reports these wild burros are creating some problems, not only for the herds, but for people who go to the lake. In this report, it writes that because there are so many, there's not enough food or water for all of them, forcing many of the burros to wander out of their designated area, going as far as Anthem, causing property damage. They've also been accustomed to coming right up to you for food, which has led to other problems, like people getting bit and dogs getting chased after by the wild burros. There's also been dozens of incidents where cars have hit the burros. The report writes 80 of them were killed by vehicles. To keep people and the herd safe, BLM says the majority have to be removed.
I feel like the reasoning is valuable, obviously, that to protect people.
While these lake goers understand the decision, they are going to miss seeing so many.
It's really sad to see that they're cutting that population down.
So the big question is, what's going to happen to all these wild burros? Well, BLM officials tell me they will be transported to their Florence facility, where they will be vaccinated and cared for daily by inmates through their partnership with Arizona Corrections Industries. From there, the burros will be put up for adoption and private placement. At this time, they have not announced when the process of removing those burros is set to start.